two initial questions. Firstly, you're probably aware, or maybe you're not aware, but the minimum investment for business manager visa is now 30 million yen, which is about 200,000 US. You've read that?
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah, I've seen that.
Cool. And
And is that for
secondly,
like the price of the, sorry,
no, no,
sorry,
go for it.
is that for like the price of the business, or is that like the amount of capital that you have to have on reserve?
It starts with the amount of capital that you need to show that you have, and then at the end of the first year, when you come to renew
Okay,
the visa, they'll want to see what you're doing with it. So you don't have to spend all of it within the first year, but they need to see that the business is in a trajectory to invest and then reacquire and retain that capital in the form of income.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. The second question is, well, kind of a two-part question. A, why stationary specifically? And B, what's your background? Is it related to that?
Yeah, so it's not stationary specifically, but like maybe any small retail store, just something
Okay.
with like products that I can sell, like easy to like kind of manage the product selling. I think the main thing that I'm looking for is something that, I can have a manager at the store, and then, I would do most of the oversight if that's
Yep.
possible, doing the product purchasing, maybe even like listing stuff online on like an online store for the store.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, so it can
So,
be anything really, I
so
think.
before we dig into the logistics and practicalities of it, just because you want to leverage that for a visa,
Yeah.
what's your personal background as far as work slash business slash management experience slash certificates is concerned? Because the immigration department will look at that.
Sure. Yeah, so I have a bachelor's degree in business management, and
Okay.
I have like small things that I do by myself. Like I have a little online store that I sell some of my art in, and then I also have rental properties here in the US.
Yep.
Right now I just have the one, but if I moved to Japan, I would probably rent this house as well, so that would be two. But I've been renting my house for 6 years, and I just do all of that myself. I find the tenants and manage the house and the budget and everything.
Okay. Is that demonstratable income in tax returns and stuff like that?
Yeah, yeah. It should,
Okay.
yeah, it shows on my tax returns.
Okay. Because I'm just wondering how we can. I'm not an immigration lawyer, so that's a little bit over my pay grade. But once we get things a bit more concrete, then I'll put you in touch with one, and they'll advise more specifically. But
Okay,
essentially, they will want to see how your past experience is related to what you want to do in Japan.
okay,
So the green business is very good. That's a major plus. And
sure.
then the businesses that you've been running, so the real estate rental business is good, but not really related to what you want to do here.
Okay.
The art, which I'm
Yeah, and
assuming
it's like
you're
that was really minimal, so
okay, so that will not reflect hugely on the tax returns.
probably not, no.
Okay. Um, I don't know. That's something, again, that's something to talk to the immigration lawyer about.
Okay,
So putting that aside and assuming that might be feasible,
okay.
um, I'm actually thinking maybe asset management company with real estate properties and real estate rentals would be a lot more in tune with what you're doing at the moment, or what you can demonstrate experience and income in.
Sure, yeah.
So that may be buying a commercial property and renting it out. Um, so the capital would work for that, but not in Tokyo and not in central Osaka, I'm assuming. Might have to be a different city.
Okay.
And then the business plan will need to show why it's not going to, because if it's a simple passive rental investment, then you don't need to be in Japan for that. Anyone can buy it and
Right.
have it managed remotely by outsourcing it to property managers or whatnot. So we'll
Right.
need to work on a business plan that shows how you're planning to expand and purchase more properties, and after you're a resident, apply for a mortgage, for an investment loan, and then purchase more properties, and then hire your own staff for property management and cleaning and maintenance. So the business plan will need to show why you actually need to be here and do that on your own rather than just buy and rent out, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming, but we'll confirm both angles, the shop versus the real estate angle with the immigration lawyer, and he'll tell us what they think is the more feasible route.
Okay.
On the shop front, logistically, bear in mind that you personally, as a foreigner, do you speak, read, write Japanese?
Not very good. Like I would pass an N5, maybe N4, but
Okay.
I studied 2 years of Japanese in college, and that's
Yep.
basically all I have.
So you personally, because of the language gap, but also just because you're a foreigner with a foreigner face and a foreigner name and
Right.
a foreigner accent, so
Hmm.
you personally hiring and managing staff, if it's a traditional Japanese store, is going to be very challenging practically.
Yeah, yeah, and I plan to, study a lot and make sure that I get to a certain point. Like I think N2 is they what is preferred for a visa.
Well, they're
Or
talking about it in the context of permanent residency. In
yeah,
the context of the business manager visa, it's more a case of having a staffer who is fluent in Japanese. That would suffice.
yeah,
But I mean, not for the visa. I mean, practically for a foreigner to open a store in Japan, unless that store is very specifically geared towards foreign clients or is selling something that Japanese would appreciate coming from a foreign source. So English schools do well, restaurants, cooking and selling, whatever ethnic food from other countries does well, but your typical store, not that much. Actually, from that aspect, maybe your art would do better because it's unique to you, and then the foreigner angle is a bit more acceptable. But
yeah.
if you're talking about a typical retail business that's dealing with Japanese retail customers and has a traditional Japanese staffer at the
Hmm.
shop, you don't have the business advantage there because Japanese tend to be insular and they freak out a little bit when they're expecting to see a Japanese face and they're seeing you. And that goes for both the customers and your staff.
Right.
Right. So for us to help you hire a Japanese store manager who would be okay working for a foreign business owner is going to be challenging.
Hard. Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
if
I'm
I improve my Japanese to a certain point, w- would that be beneficial, or would that just not matter since I'm just a foreigner?
It would be a little bit easier, but it's more the culture gap than straight out the language. The language would definitely help, but Japanese person interviewing for a job and, being interviewed by a foreigner, they're gonna, whoa, like be
Right.
taken back a little bit. Yeah. If it's something niche where the foreigner angle can be a plus and not a something unexpected, like again, art, for example, or um I don't know, American bistro, something that, an American owner would be expected,
Right.
or quirky enough. If it's art, it's very niche, and you're mingling with artists who don't really care if you're Japanese or not. They care about the art. That's something else. But your typical retail store would be challenging.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Logistically, practically, nothing to do with the visa.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's maybe something to brainstorm a little bit. We um, we can provide remote management services of a business. So we manage it as a Japanese entity, and we hire and manage the staff, Japanese to Japanese kind of thing. Not me, obviously, I can't be involved, but my business partner or our more senior staffers will be handling the ongoing management.
Right.
But that's an added layer of services and payment that you maybe don't
Right.
want and don't need, right? Because we
Yeah. I
charge
mean,
for
I
the
guess it
setup,
all
we
just
charge a
kind of depends.
percentage. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are all options. I'm just laying out there what might be a bit more challenging and might be a bit
Yeah.
more straightforward. And again, we'll talk to the immigration lawyer, but I'm guessing if he says that the real estate angle would be easier from a visa perspective, then for that, nobody cares who the owner of the real estate is, right? We're using property management companies anyway, or eventually you'll be hiring staffers, or, that's
Yeah.
less of a concern. There's no shop, there's no face-to-face daily contact with customers or staff.
Hmm.
So that could be a bit more feasible.
Yeah. And that's if the lawyer thinks that, you know, they could make a case for why a foreigner should have a visa for rental property.
Why you specifically
Right.
are applying for a business manager visa that's related to a real estate? We're not going to call it investing, so it doesn't sound too passive. We'll call it asset management company or something of that sort.
Yeah. Okay.
If he thinks we can make a case. But then the other issue becomes your budget, because what were you thinking? Were you thinking to invest the entire 30 million? Were you thinking to invest less than that, more than that? What were your
Yeah.
plans there?
My so basically my budget, like my full budget, I was thinking would be around. Let me translate it to yen. It was like max, like upper limit is like 40 million for like maybe buying a business, but like I said, preferably maybe around 30 million for buying like the sale of the business, and then I would have another 30 million for like everything else, like relocating, all of the taxes, fees, attorneys,
30
capital,
30 million.
30 million yen.
Another 30 million just for the relocation? That's a lot.
Yeah, that's for like everything, like the
Okay.
business capital reserve, like to
Keeping
have
yourself alive for the first year kind of thing.
right for the first couple of years, few years. Yeah,
Okay. Well, real estate, if we're talking about long-term rentals, whether they're residential or commercial, is normally not going to be generating more than 5, 6% before
yeah.
tax. So that gives us, let me just have a quick look. If we're talking about 40 million, I'll just take the upper end of that. And conservatively, let's say 5%, but not in Tokyo and central Osaka again, because their yields are a lot lower. But let's say some other city, let's say about 5% reasonably. That's 2 million yen a year. I'm not sure that would be sufficient to maintain your visa, because at the end of the
Okay.
first year they want to see your taxable income.
Yeah. How much? How? Let me. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna look up how much 2 million yen is in USD
2
for
million
my
yen is about
American brain.
15,000 American at the moment.
And then how much yen do they want to see? Does the visa people want
Well,
to see in income
they
each year?
don't have a specific guideline, or at least not an official written guideline for that. But according to what the immigration lawyer tells us, we should assume a worst case of maybe they'll want to see a bit more than that. Let's say 3 million-ish. So
Okay.
25,000
Yeah.
dollars in annual income. Um, so we'd probably have, if it is real estate, we'll probably have to bump the budget a little bit for that. If it's a
Okay.
business, then, we can look for a business that's generating a higher percentage.
Mhm.
And then maybe the 40 million will do, but I don't know to tell you until we start looking for that business.
I see. I see. Okay.
Yeah. So when the immigration department stated that 30 million uh, category, I mean, we help a lot of people with M&As, but from a visa perspective, they were more referring to people coming here and setting up shop. And
Yeah.
then, with a business plan that shows that you're hoping to make at least 10-15%, then that becomes what they want to see, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Existing businesses, we might find something within that budget that does that, but I don't know until we start looking. And again, to make sure that you can maintain that and not suddenly drop in income after ownership changes, then we'll probably want to see will probably want to see something that's more foreigner oriented, or at least niche enough that the foreigner angle doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
The other alternative, if you do have the 40 million to invest, then maybe us managing the business on your behalf does become feasible, because then what we're charging you is still going to keep the business profitable.
Okay. Sure.
We have a customer, for example, who purchased about a year and a bit ago, purchased a pharmacy operation. So we M&A'd an existing pharmacy. His case was more like 50 million, but I think we might be able to find something a bit cheaper.
Hmm.
Um, we put an operator in place. We're working with the operator and the staffer to run the business. And then he doesn't need a visa at this point in time. He might be applying for it in the future, but um, that contract with the operator can, because it's a one man show, that operating company. It's a pharmacist who has a bunch of pharmacies of his own, and he also outsources this service to other investors. So we can structure the contract in such a way that it doesn't look like a passive investment. He's flexible enough to allow us to change the wording here and there. So if and when somebody needs to use it for a visa, we can tailor the contract so it looks like you're going to be actively running the business yourself.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, that sounds interesting. That sounds like something, I
And it's kind of recession proof because Japan's population getting older and older. There's more and more elderly and sick people. So if we buy it like we did in his case, if we buy it right next to a hospital or a bunch of clinics, there's always going to be an inflow of customers, whatever the economy is doing, right?
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's completely unrelated to what you've done in the past. So we need to see what the immigration lawyer says about that. I'm hoping he'll say that the business manager degree, that the business
Uh-huh.
degree is good enough, but I don't know. We'll need to ask him about that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a 4-year degree, but I mean, who knows if
Yeah,
that.
Japan loves rubber stamps. If you've got a
Yeah.
degree that says business on it, or if you had a
Uh-huh.
position in the past where your past employer can show a letter or a certificate that says that you are a manager of something,
Okay,
that's
yeah, yeah.
usually that ticks the box for them.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I was kind of like a mid-level like manager in the job that I have. Um,
Will you
but
be able to get
it wasn't
a
related to
letter?
like it
Will
wasn't
you be able to get a
really
letter stating that?
I think so, yeah. Yeah. My
Okay,
boss should be able to.
that would be a huge help. What kind of business, what industry was that?
It was financial aid. Like it's not really I don't know, it's not really related to the things I've mentioned, but it is, it's financial aid.
Financial aid as in supporting
Oh,
the public, you mean?
yeah, yeah, like for college students.
Okay, that could somehow tie in with the service pharmacy aspect, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. Again, immigration lawyer needs to provide feedback on that. I don't know. I think maybe the next step would be to hook you up with them. I can join the first meeting, and the first meeting they don't charge. So we can have a meeting with the immigration lawyer, lay all of those options on him, and see what he thinks would be most feasible of these options.
Sounds good. Yeah.
And then we'll take it from there, I guess. So we can assist with the purchase of the business. We can assist if it's a more traditional business like the pharmacy or like a standard retail store, then we can assist with managing it for you so that, nobody needs to deal with a scary foreigner and lower our income.
Yeah.
Um, until such a point when, when you have the visa, then you might want to switch over to a different kind of business, or you might want to, I don't know, and then you might not need us. But until then, we can also manage it for you.
Okay. Yeah, sure. That
Okay.
sounds like a pretty good starting plan.
Okay. So I will reply to your last email with just a blank signature that's got my mobile number on it.
Okay.
If you could, do you have WhatsApp or Line?
I don't have WhatsApp, but I can get it real quick.
WhatsApp or Line, either will do. Line is probably easier with the Japanese side of things, but I personally prefer WhatsApp, so totally up to you. Where is that email? Billy.
Sorry, I think my internet just went out for a second.
Oh, your internet sounds okay, but there's a background noise. I'm not sure what that is.
Oh, maybe it's my laptop fan just turned on.
No worries. Let me just
Can
find
you still
that
hear me okay?
email. KL. There you are. BJ Ray, that's you, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just emailing you with a blank signature that's got my mobile number on it, my phone number. Just install either WhatsApp or Line, whichever, or both, and just ping me there. Just remind me that it's you, and then I'll loop in the immigration lawyer, and we'll take it from there.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right.
Good luck. We'll get there. I'm just not sure which route we'll get there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. This has been a big help to start.
Ah, pleasure. Looking forward to seeing you here.
All right. See you soon.